Welcome back to the Archive Network. Aurelius here with Malik, curators of the Lineage Archive. We left House of Medici last time by the end of the 15th century. Florence was transformed. Today we pick up where we left off. The Medici had claimed Florence, but true power was never safe. Every banquet, every marriage, every whispered promise had the potential to tip the scales. They knew the stakes. They mastered the art of survival in a world where betrayal lurked around every corner. In the heart of the Renaissance, kinship, credit, and cunning became their shield against ruin. Their ability to navigate treachery was unmatched. In such times, one misstep could lead to downfall, and they weren't about to let that happen.
But Aurelius, that survival came at a cost. The Medici weren't just navigating a web. They were weaving it tightly with their ambition and risk. Their power wasn't just about control. It was about how others saw them. They had to rule without looking like rulers, blending into the core of Florence's identity. It was a delicate dance, balancing influence and invisibility. Every decision they made shaped not just their fate, but the lives of countless Florentines.
Absolutely. The Medici Bank became the very engine driving their ascent to power. Its branches stretched far and wide, from London all the way to Constantinople, effectively pumping gold through the veins of Europe. Their strategy included generous acts toward the populace and lavish patronage of artists. Cosimo de' Medici, in particular, established a model that not only solidified their influence, but also set a standard for future rulers. It was a calculated approach, one that many would try to replicate.
But that model had its cracks. Piero, Cosimo's son, found himself in a world where alliances shifted like sand. His marriage to Lucrezia Tornabuoni wasn't just a union of love. It was a carefully crafted political strategy. Lucrezia wasn't just sitting by his side. No, she was a powerful player in her own right. Her intelligence and ambition shaped their family's future, proving that behind every decision, there were real people facing real stakes.
True. Lucrezia managed properties and authored poetry, playing a crucial role in shaping the Medici's ascent. Their connections to the Sforza family in Milan and the papal court in Rome went just happenstance. They were carefully crafted alliances. Each one brought fresh influence, but they also introduced new dangers. With every partnership, we see the delicate balance of power at play. The stakes were high, and the game was never simple.
And yet, those alliances didn't shield them from vulnerability. The Medici's money bought them power, but it also bred envy in the hearts of many. Their loyalists held positions in city offices, steering the government. Yet, old Republican families simmered with resentment, feeling sidelined. The Medici's patronage brought them glory and cultural achievements, but it also painted a bright target on their backs. They were caught in a web of admiration and animosity, never quite sure who might turn against them next.
The Pazzi conspiracy of 1478 serves as a stark reminder of that vulnerability we all face. On Easter morning, the cathedral became a stage for chaos. Lorenzo managed to escape the assassins, but his brother Giuliano was not so fortunate. The city of Florence erupted in fury, and the aftermath was brutal. In a matter of days, swift justice was meted out to those involved. It's a grim illustration of how swiftly power can shift in a heartbeat.
Justice? Or was it terror? The Medici's response was brutal and chilling. Bodies hung from windows as a grotesque warning to anyone who dared oppose them. Every display of strength only bred more resentment among the people. This was just the beginning of their uneasy rule, not its conclusion. Florence was a cauldron of intrigue and fear, where whispers filled the streets and loyalty was a dangerous game. Lives were torn apart, and trust became a rare commodity.
You're right. The Pazzi conspiracy marked a crucial moment in Florentine history. Surveillance and suspicion crept into daily life like an unwelcome shadow. The Medici court, despite its grandeur, transformed into a hotbed of secrets and intrigue. Everyone was on edge, constantly watching their backs. They walked a fine line, flirting with popularity while grappling with the very real threat of tyranny. Trust was a luxury few could afford in such a volatile environment.
And into this vibrant and often chaotic environment stepped Lorenzo de' Medici, il Magnifico. He wasn't just a ruler. He was a cultural icon who breathed life into Florence's art and intellect. His marriage to Clarice Orsini wasn't merely a personal union. It was a carefully crafted strategic alliance. With that bond, the Medici found themselves entangled in the fierce rivalries of Italian politics, where every decision could mean the difference between survival and downfall for their family. The stakes were high, and the human cost was real.
Exactly. Lorenzo understood that the Medici's future relied on loyalty above all. He skillfully balanced threats with diplomacy, wielding art as both a weapon and a shield. By commissioning breathtaking masterpieces, he transformed Florence into a cultural beacon. Yet, lurking in the shadows were constant threats, plots, and betrayals that could erupt at any moment. This delicate dance of power kept everyone on edge, reminding us that even in triumph, danger is never far behind.
Those shadows weren't just historical footnotes. They were real threats to the Medici's power, lurking in every corner of Florence. Internal plots bubbled up, while external pressures pressed down, both relentless and unforgiving. By the dawn of the 16th century, Florence had transformed dramatically, but the Medici's grip remained fragile, a delicate balance woven of gold and blood. It's important to remember that behind every plot and power struggle, there were real people, with hopes and fears, caught in the crossfire.
The Medici name was everywhere by the end of the 15th century, a symbol of wealth and influence that cast a long shadow over Florence. But for all their power, true security always felt just out of reach. Their dynasty was like a web, stretched tight over the restless spirit of the city. One misstep, one poorly timed decision, and it could all come crashing down. We've seen it throughout history. The rise and fall often hinge on a single moment.
That's where we leave it this time. Nay, and see, in, and out, and see. House of Medici continues. The story isn't finished yet. Find the full series on the Lineage archive, part of the archive network. We'll be back with the next chapter.